I suddenly realised when my family life had settled down, you know, you get this aching, I want to go on the road again. Surely it's not all over, you know. So I got together with Bernie Marsden and Mickey Moody after we did a little gig in the pub here. I said, you guys are so good, why don't we just go out and play your hits like ELO do? So we did that. We had a band called Company of Snakes that we did pretty well live, you know, a lot of live festivals and big events, and they'd just storm it. And I was touring pretty extensively with Uli Roth. We did the G3 tour with Joe Satriani. And then we were just getting ready to do a big orchestral concert in Germany with Uli when the phone rang. And it was Roger Glover saying, "John's ill, would you consider standing in for him on a tour?" I said, "When's the tour start?" He said, "Tomorrow." No, it was 2 days' time. It's only 3 gigs, so don't worry. And then Bruce Payne phoned the next day, it said, "It's 16 gigs." And then when I got out there, of course, it was the full 24. Virtually no rehearsal. The first gig was terrifying. 23,000 people up a hill at Skanderberg Festival. And I'd had to learn the well-dressed guitar as well in the afternoon in Steve's room. So I just went on and, oh, bugger me, I'm playing with Deep Purple. But they're such a great band, you just get into the swing of it straight away.
Some of you may have noticed that we haven't got our keyboard player with us tonight, John Lord. He's suffering from an extremely painful knee. However, we've got a very healthy youth policy, and we've been able to bring on one of the youngsters tonight, the incorruptible, delectable, and very handsome Don Airey. Thank you very much.
I think the first 5 or so seconds, you know, I'm thinking I must do what John does, and after that I just went, if I don't be myself, I won't survive. You don't survive. If you're thrown in with them, you know, you got to be up and at 'em with everything you got, you know. I think they play like they did in '72. That's the extraordinary thing. I was expecting, you know, let's get this over as quick as we can and let's get to the bar for a drink. Whereas they really get into it and then they go to the bar for a drink. They really give full value every show. I did tell them, I said, I kind of braced myself for what I call the old bollocks, which is the ego trips and the petulance and the I'm not going on and I won't do this unless. You know, and they don't do any of it. You know, they've completely grown up. I'm far beyond that. People ask, who's your biggest inspiration? Well, I'd say Richie Blackmore, Gary Moore, you know, Steve Morse at the moment. You know, that's what gets you at it. Trying to keep up with those guys. How do they do that? They don't know. And what you do as a keyboard player, you give them some kind of respectability, that you know what they do, and you can follow them, and you can back them up. And that's what I always try and do, try and make them feel comfortable. You know, that there's no worries, mate, I'm there. You know, they play something and I'll be there. And that's John's overwhelming talent. You know, John Lord, that's what he does. As soon as the band plays, he plays the right part on Hammond. And it just makes everybody feel good about everything. Obviously the transition's a bit hard, and for the band to kind of accept a different keyboard player. I mean, I work quite differently to John, that's the thing. And of all the Hammond players I've ever seen, I'd rank him number 2 of the players I've seen. Jimmy Smith to me is the number 1, and John would, I know John agrees with that. But what John's done is, he's shaken off the yoke of Jimmy Smith and forged his own identity within the confines of Deep Purple. He's come up with a different way of playing Hammond and a different kind of sound. Whereas someone like me or Keith Emerson, I don't mean to compare myself to Keith, but you know, you're always conscious of Jimmy Smith. You know, he's just the finest keyboard player I've ever seen. He's, you know, there isn't a word that describes Jimmy Smith, really.
Can you imagine how it feels to be somewhere that you can't do no wrong?
I just had a great time for 6 weeks. I thought, well, John's ill. That's all they said to me. I mean, Gillan sidled up at one point and said, have a word. He said, you know, if John doesn't come back, would you... I said, oh, John's coming back, isn't he? I thought John would be out of his mind to leave a band like that. I just couldn't see how he could. But he did. I suddenly felt a bit down. I thought, oh, maybe I wasn't up to it. Well, maybe I wasn't, I don't know. But Bruce phoned me up. He said, John's gone, actually. And he said, we've got a short list. It's got 4 names on it. I said, oh. He said, all of them are yours. So, which is about the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me, I think.